Hello and welcome to this installation guide for the EK3 rail system for the G&G or Army Armament L85. Now before we get on with the install process, I'd just like to say thank you very much for buying this kit, and if you have any issues at all with the kit or the installation process, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, the English Kiwi, or to Super 5s, and we'll endeavour to sort out your issues as quickly as possible. Now, onto the kit. Here is my EK3 kit, and in it we will find one rail. This is the tan version, one mounting block, one sight rail, one set of mounting block screws, and one cross bolt setup for attaching the rail to the mount block. Now, what tools are required for this conversion? Well, I have a multi-tool set here, as it will require some crosshead screws and some Allen keys. I also recommend some electrical tape and scissors in case you want to store any of the parts you remove safely. Also, you are going to need a hole punch set. I don't have one here as my stuff has already been hole punched and or otherwise. However, there is a link in the description to the set that we recommend. Instead, I will be using an Allen key as a stand-in to show you what to do. And with that, let's get on with the conversion. So here we have my G&G rifle. First thing we're going to do is take the handguard off. For that we're going to need a flathead. However, I use the SUSAT tool. Flip it over, push up pin, and two half shots come away from the receiver. Again, seeing as we're not going to be needing these, I like to put these back together. And now we can put that to one side. I'm also going to recommend that we remove the mock gas parts at this point. And put them to one side. We can take those up if need be. At this point I'm going to recommend we're going to take the barrel out, as that will give us access to removing the sight rail and will also allow us to knock out the roll pins that hold the gas block in place. So to do that, take out your rear pin, put that to one side, slide your upper and lower or your receiver and TMH trigger mechanism housing apart, forward and back, lift off, disconnect any of your wiring inside. Mine is an old gen and fitted with a MOSFET itself, but most ETUs are a similar sort of arrangement. And we can put our TMH or lower to one side. Also recommend at this point removing your inner barrel and putting that safely to one side. So to remove your barrel, you need to remove these two screws, and you may also have a screw in the rear trunnion where your hop up normally is. These are smallish Allen keys. So again, I'm going to use my Allen key set. And we're going to put them in a safe space because we'll need them in a second. Now, we can slide the barrel forwards with all the screws out. And note, this piece falls out. This is a retention catch to hold your hop-up unit in place. We're also going to need to remove this screw here so the barrel can slide past the wiring, and unscrew that. Yours may indeed have a second screw there, mine does not. It may have gone walkies at some point. We can now slide the barrel out and we can take the wiring out for the time being. So to get the barrel to the point ready for install, you're going to need to remove two pins. This pin here holding the flash hider on, and this roll pin here holding the gas block on. So you're going to grab your punch set of the right size, you're going to put the barrel down supported, you're going to take your punch, line it up with that, hit it and pop that pin out. Once the pin's out, you can slide your flash hider off, and make sure to keep your flash hider and your pin safe, because you're going to need that in a bit for the reinstall. You're then going to do much the same thing with the gas block. You're going to find a punch of the right size, line it up with the roll pin and knock it out, and once that's out you should be able to slide your gas block forward and off the barrel. So in true Blue Peter fashion, I will take this one away, and in true Blue Peter fashion, here is one I almost prepared earlier. So this is the Armament version, and this is a bit easier to do than G&G, as it is all grub screws and all threaded muzzles. So just for context, at this point, if you've got the G&G, you should have had your flash hider off and your roll pin out of your gas block, so it is true to side about. Armament guys, you need to undo your grub screw, which is at the base of your gas block, until it's loose. A lot of people found this has come loose from factory, so you may not even need to do that. And then unscrew your muzzle. Now with your loose gas block, it can slide off the front, and this barrel is ready for the EK3 install. So to remove your sight rail, flip it over, and you can see there are 3 Allen key screws that we need to remove. So grab your Allen key of the correct size and unscrew these 3. Please do note that some of these may have Loctite and might be quite hard to turn. If that is the case, get a lighter and give it just a bit of heat. That hopefully should loosen the Loctite and should make them easier to take off. We're going to need these screws, so put them aside in a safe place, because they will be used in the install of the EK3 rail. Once all 3 screws are removed, your rail can pull away, and you'll notice that your mock bolt and plate it attaches to is loose within the receiver. At this point, we are now ready to start installing the EK3 parts. So we're going to take our sight rail, and we're going to line it up with those holes. We're going to slide our mock bolt assembly forwards and into alignment with that rail and push it in place. We're then going to grab the screws we've just taken out of the old sight rail and install them into the new rail to hold it in place. Now note, you need to have removed the barrel to get access to these. Now the sight rail is installed, we can now reinstall our barrel. So first things first, grab your wire harness and make sure it is inserted into position and the correct way round. Then you can get your barrel and install it into the receiver. And now remember to reinstall this plate here. And also reinstall your hop-up catch. With those inserted, we can then slide the barrel home and reinstall the 2 barrel locking screws. We can then grab our mounting block and slide that onto the rifle. Making sure the wires run underneath and out the slot in it. Also, if you haven't already, reinstall your flash hider onto the rifle now. At this point we can get our 2 mounting block screws and loosely install them. We can also at this point rebuild the rifle. We can now install the rail onto the rifle, making sure the wiring runs inside the rail. and then we can fasten the rail onto the mount block. So sometimes the rail doesn't line up with your mount block properly, which is fine. This is why we put these screws in loosely. What we want to do is push the rail onto it properly so it aligns. There we go. So you want to look through your screw hole and make sure it is aligned properly with the mount block. Then we're going to tighten it down. Once it's tight on the mount block, we want to make sure the rail is firmly sat against the receiver. We can then reinstall and tighten up the mount block screws. And there we have the EK3 kit installed on a G&G or Army Armament L85. If you have any issues at all with either the kit or the installation process, please don't hesitate to contact either myself, the English Kiwi, or Super 5s, and we'll endeavour to sort out your issues as quickly as possible.